This has just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
It's fucking awful.
And is he dead?
Joe Rogan just exposed Erika Kirk in a way no one saw coming.
You had a bunch of, if you're gonna kill a guy, you had a bunch of other wacky shit that doesn't make any sense and you spam it out there at the same time.
Joe allegedly is proof that Erika and Charlie's parents are going through some major drama right now. And it all has to do with Erika's behavior ever since Charlie passed away. Guys, you'd better buckle up because I am about to tell you why Joe just dropped some serious SUS on Erika and why he believes there is something much more sinister going on ever since Charlie Kirk passed away. So, what did Charlie's parents allegedly say? Why is Joe Rogan questioning the case? And what does all this mean for Erika, who suddenly found herself at the center of a storm she can't escape? Let's break it all down.
He set it up in a way that, like, okay, you're saying something that's actually factually inaccurate,
right,
according to the narrative. Now, let's be real clear. I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
Okay, so let's talk about the whole situation surrounding Charlie Kirk's death. Now, in the weeks since it happened, a lot of people online have been pointing out what they see as some inconsistencies in the official story. And leading that charge is, you guessed it, Joe Rogan. So Joe was on his podcast recently, and he basically said that from his perspective, things just aren't adding up. He can't make the pieces fit. And a huge part of the conversation, according to him, keeps circling back to Charlie's widow, Erika Kirk. And let me tell you, Joe had a lot of thoughts about her behavior since his passing. He was really zeroing in on how she's been acting through all of this. Now, to really get how we even got here, we need to rewind for a second and understand who Charlie Kirk really was. So, Charlie was basically the engine behind Turning Point USA. He built this whole youth conservative movement that completely took over the political conversation on college campuses. And let's be real, all over our feeds. Love him or hate him, you couldn't ignore him. The guy had this relentless energy. He was constantly on podcasts, at rallies, just everywhere, building a following that was seriously dedicated. And always right there next to him was his wife, Erika. Former pageant queen got her own podcast, constantly talking about faith and family and backing her husband's whole mission. As a duo, they were what everyone called this modern conservative power couple. Then we get to the tragic events of September 10th. Charlie's at a student Q&A at Utah Valley University, and everything just descends into chaos. Shots are fired, people are running, and Charlie doesn't make it. It was one of those moments that just completely froze everything. The news breaks, and honestly, for a minute there it felt like everyone, regardless of politics, was just in shock. But that feeling, it lasted for about 5 minutes because almost immediately the story started getting messy. The police arrested a 22-year-old Tyler Robinson after this long manhunt. They called it an isolated incident and said the case was closed. But then the details started trickling out, and guys, nothing was fitting together. The gun they said was used, a reconstructed World War I rifle. The motive was completely unclear, and people who were actually there started giving interviews, and their stories, they did not match up at all.
He said that he took it apart and then put it back together again? Shut the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not gonna fit.
Not gonna fit in a backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof? What? What's that about?
Is that what they pitched, huh?
Yeah.
Now, this is exactly where Joe Rogan decides to step in. And get this, he didn't even really go in on Erika or the family first. Joe zeroed in on the official story itself. While on his podcast, Joe put it out there plain and simple. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Look, I don't necessarily think they even know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weirdness around this case." And then he started picking it apart. He honed in on the rifle, this antique World War I gun they're saying was used, and Joe outright said that it made no sense. He pointed out that to use a weapon like that, you'd have to know how to actually reassemble it and then have the skill to pull off a precise attack. It's not some random, easy-to-grab weapon. But wait, it gets weirder. He brought up the whole thing with a decoy suspect. You remember that guy? The one who allegedly stood up at the scene and yelled, "I did it." That guy was arrested, but then poof, it was all for unrelated charges and he just vanished from the narrative, silenced. And this is where Joe dropped the line that basically broke the internet. According to Joe, it was as if something was being hidden and the whole thing felt off. And with that one comment, he completely reframed the entire conversation. Suddenly, the focus wasn't just on the shooting anymore. Everyone started looking sideways at the investigation itself.
He said that he took it apart and then put it back together again. Shut the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not going to fit.
Not going to fit in the backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof? What? What's that about?
Is that what they pitched, huh?
Yeah.
And just like that, once Joe's clip started blowing up, the whole story completely split into two different directions. On one side, you have people diving deep into the police work, all those inconsistencies we just talked about, but on the other side, and this is the part that really took over the algorithm, the focus totally pivoted to Erika Kirk. Now her every single public move is being put under a microscope. Old videos from Charlie's memorial are resurfacing, and people are obsessing over her calm composure. Her speech is about carrying on the mission, even her outfit choices. And you know how the internet is. They started holding her demeanor up against this imaginary checklist of how a widow should be acting, as if there's only one way to grieve. And then the rumors started, the whispers. The chatter is that Charlie's own parents have private concerns. The talk is about Erika's sudden leadership role at Turning Point, about the money, about how all of this looks. Now, let's be clear. There's no official statement, no named sources. It's all just screenshots from alleged insiders and a whole lot of speculation. But honestly, in 2025, that's all it takes. Because at this point, perception, it might as well be reality. Now, just when you thought this story couldn't get any more tangled, a screenshot drops and completely sets social media on fire. This post starts circulating, and it's supposedly a direct quote from Charlie's parents. It claims they're saying they tried to warn Charlie about Erika before he even married her. That they saw, and I quote, red flags in her personality and her ambition. The line that really sent everyone into a spiral was this: "We loved our son. We only wish he had seen what we saw." Obviously, that became the centerpiece of 1,000 online breakdowns. It was all anyone could talk about. And this is where things really start to merge. People begin connecting Joe Rogan's earlier comments. You know, his whole something's being hidden vibe about the investigation directly to these new rumors about Erika. They're mashing the two stories together until the line between a potential cover-up and a personal scandal becomes totally blurred. It's just one big, chaotic conspiracy web. Meanwhile, while all this is exploding online, what is Erika actually doing? She's stepping directly into the spotlight. Within just weeks of Charlie's death, she's officially been named the new CEO of Turning Point America. And she's not hiding. She's out there speaking at events. She's hosting the organization's podcast, promising to continue her husband's mission. She's doing the job. Now, some people look at that and call it inspiring. A widow turning her grief into purpose. Others are side-eyeing it, calling it opportunistic, a major power move wrapped up in the language of faith. But the one thing everyone is noticing is her demeanor. She is unshakably composed. Every public word feels measured. Every outfit choice seems deliberate. And every single appearance is filmed and dissected across social media. And that very control, that poise, is what's driving the internet crazy because people are looking at a person acting in a way they don't understand. And they're projecting every possible emotion onto it. So, here's the thing you need to remember through all of this. Charlie's actual parents have technically and officially been completely silent. No public statements at the memorial, nothing to the press about the investigation, no posts online, nothing. And honestly, that silence is just feeding the rumor mill. The longer they stay quiet, the more people online feel the need to fill in the blanks for them. And the story they're writing is all about this major tension between them and Erika. Some comments say they're just grieving privately, which fair, but a lot of others are insisting the silence is because they don't trust her. Again, there's zero proof, but in the digital world, silence can start to feel like an answer all on its own. And that alleged statement from them, the one in the screenshot, it worked so well because it fit the script people were already writing in their heads. And the fact that Joe Rogan is out here questioning the official investigation, that just makes the whole theory feel 10 times louder. Because if he's skeptical, a part of your brain goes, okay, maybe there really is something more to this. Let's be real about Rogan for a second. He's not a journalist, but his reach is arguably bigger than most news networks put together. When he points something out, millions of people suddenly start paying attention. Whether he intends to or not, he gives a massive boost to any conversation he touches. And that is precisely what's playing out here. He raises a few valid points about the inconsistencies in Charlie's case. The weird gun, the decoy suspect, and that simple act of questioning lends a kind of credibility to all the other whispers swirling in the background. So, what do you think? Was Joe Rogan right that something about this entire situation doesn't add up? Or has social media twisted his words into another viral headline that misses the real point? Let me know your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos for even more drama. Till next time, bye.